Hey, friendo, Steve here.
And Larson.
And welcome back to Going in Raw, the only pro wrestling podcast you need to be listening to. On today's episode, we've got reviews of NXT Vengeance Day, WWE Smackdown, including confirmation that we're getting Roman Reigns versus Sami Zayn in Elimination Chamber, and AEW Rampage, along with Triple H calling in for his usual WWE Raw preview. Also in the news, we're going to talk Tony Khan wanting in on that WWE sale. NXT might be letting talent head to Action Coast Wrestling. But first, Cody eviscerates The Rock on the road to WrestleMania. Larson, what's in the news?
Well, you kind of did a good little recap there, but let's talk about Cody blasting The Rock. He blast him.
Hot heat.
Blast him. There's no shooting hard here. So anyways, during an interview with Alex McCarthy, Cody Rhodes was asked about his thoughts on the Bloodline story, and he used that question as an opportunity to mention that in his mind, the main event stories being told on WWE main roster right now would lead to a better WrestleMania main event than Roman Reigns versus The Rock. Here's what he said. It's a lot, so I'll try to get through this as quickly as I can. Quote, "I love that you bring it up that these stories are running parallel," talking about his own, and then the Bloodline Sami Zayn stuff.
Yep.
I think sometimes wrestling fans think it's got to be one or it's got to be the other, whereas I subscribe, and I'm not in charge, I subscribe to give them everything. That's where it really takes smart planners and creative individuals on how you layer it, but it's very important. And this is something I learned when I was away, is that if someone's doing great and they're entertaining and help move the ship forward, and I would say Seth Rollins, another example on Raw, he was another when I was gone who's really changed and continued to carry Raw on his back. I was fully expecting these things to converge. I'm still expecting them to converge just because we have these wonderful options. With all the respect in the world to one of the GOATs, The Rock, it looks like the options we have here within the roster are even better because the stories that are happening. One story about finishing something that started in 1978, 7 years before I was born. Another story of really the tragedy of being welcomed into the bloodline. And then then what you saw unfolds. I think with the amount of time between now and WrestleMania, it's important to keep my eyes squarely fixed on WrestleMania, squarely wrestling for the WWE Undisputed Championship. And as you hinted, that may not be against Roman Reigns. Now, I don't know if anyone can beat Roman Reigns. I truly don't. But for me, it's about picking up the chip. I love the melodrama. I love the heaviness of these stories that develop in our industry. But I am a very simple man who's looking for a belt. I'm looking for a championship title belt, the most important one in our world, the biggest in all, not just in the WWE bubble, but in all the bubbles. And to be the first to say, as a Rhodes, I did it. And it wasn't Dusty Rhodes, and it wasn't Dustin Rhodes. It was Cody Rhodes.
Yeah, man. I agree 100%. You know, sell that story of Roman Reigns and the Bloodline and Solo Sequoia and all that stuff, and you're good. And here's the thing, you know, I've seen a lot, and I know you have too, a lot of discourse about, you know, oh, Sami. Man, I tell you, the way they have told this story so far, building to the first confrontation between Roman Reigns and Cody Rhodes, number one, is going to be, I think, pretty special because they haven't really been face-to-face so far on the road to WrestleMania. Elimination Chamber, when Jay probably breaks all of our hearts and turns on Sami, make sure, screw Sami out of the title. I think the heat that's going to generate is going to make people want to see Owens and Zayn in that story against the Usos at WrestleMania.
Yeah, well, especially if Jay turning on Sami coincides with Kevin Owens coming out and making the save.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
You know, because then it's all there. It's all laid out in front of us, like what the match is going to be at that point. And having Sami and Kevin Owens kind of start their reconciliation happening in Montreal, their hometown. You know what they could do. You know, and I just thought about this. I'm just throwing it out there because we're on the road to WrestleMania. So, and again, we're just getting a fantasy book, and here's what we do: we're nerds. But yeah, you have Jay turn on Sami. Sami obviously lose. You know, he screws him out of the title, right? Yeah. So they're putting boots to Sami. Kevin Owens comes out and makes a save, but the Bloodline still has numbers. And then Cody comes out. That's how you insert Cody into it. You know, Cody comes out, he confronts Roman, and then you got that. You know, he's sort of looped into it, and then you kind of rope him in, and you have him and Roman, and then Sami and Kevin and the Usos. I think people would buy into that if they just see it. You know, I think by the time Elimination Chamber is said and done, people are going to be wanting the matches that WWE wants them to have just by virtue of good storytelling. That's what we've had so far. Yeah. No, it's entirely possible. You know,
and they're in Canada too. What if Cody comes out with all just draped in maple leaves?
Oh, that'd be something else. Brings Lance Storm with him.
Oh, man. He'll be Canada's favorite
Bret
son.
Hart, too.
Bret Hart, yeah. Oh, bring them all.
Yeah.
Other people,
you know,
other
like
people from Canada.
the Rock versus Roman match is the marquee match. That's the one that'll grab the mainstream headlines, and it'd be a good win for Roman.
Mm-hmm.
The match itself, I don't think there'd be a ton of intrigue in it because Roman's going to win that one.
Yeah, right.
And while I'm 75% sure Cody's going to beat Roman, are they going to throw a couple speed bumps in Cody's way before he gets his hands on those titles?
Yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah, dude, I'm not like 60% to be honest with you. I don't know. They're not going to have Raw. I think it should be Cody. I think this story is too good. All the history behind it. I think it totally should be Cody Rhodes. You want to get it. You want to get those titles on him now before he cuts some promo that the crowd starts booing him for it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's entirely possible.
But yeah, I don't know, man. I think you loop Cody into it, and people are going to be on board with Cody versus Roman. I think that they can steer the people in the right direction. They've been able to. I mean, you look at what happened at the end of SmackDown. I thought it was pretty great with Roman and his shit talking to Sami. I thought that was really good stuff, and Sami being geeked out for Elimination Chamber. But there's a lot more to this story to be told.
Oh yeah,
and I think the people are going to be. I think they're going to be in on it, and it's smart for Cody to bring up the elephant in the room, The Rock. Because he's right. And what have we said? What did we say coming out of the Rumble? They're rolling with the roster they have and the stories they have to tell. And I think that's a really smart move.
It is. It seems like so far, not that Triple H is against the idea of using legends and part-timers on the show, especially the major shows. But they're not the focus, especially in title programs.
Yeah.
And so you have who's on the roster now involved in your marquee programs that elevates those roster members,
Yeah.
Especially if that coincides with telling good, interesting stories. It gets people talking. I mean, I feel like, yeah, if The Rock came back, people will talk about it from now to WrestleMania, but the day after WrestleMania, like that conversation's kind of over.
Yeah, right.
So The Rock's done.
Yeah, sure.
Whereas if Cody beats Roman at Mania, well, what's next? What's going to happen with Roman now?
Yeah.
There's more story to unfold, I feel like, from that point on. They're going to keep people talking as opposed to, that was pretty cool seeing The Rock there. Yeah, that was neat.
Yeah. I know. I agree with you. And, the whole time you're just wondering, okay, can he still go? Like, is he going to try to put himself over all the storylines that are going on? You're just sort of putting him in there. And it might just sort of stick out. And I understand that there's plenty of story to be told there from a Bloodline perspective and The Rock and all that. But I don't know, man. I think that Cody's right. Everything that got going on right now was so good that, why mess with it? You roll with that for WrestleMania. This is going to be probably, I don't know, it's probably already financially the biggest WrestleMania they've done. I mean, I'm pretty sure I don't know if they've actually sold out everything already, but
the building is pretty full pretty quick when tickets went on sale.
With how expensive those tickets are, it damn well better be one of the biggest gates in history.
You got that right.
Oh, man. Let's talk about WWE and the process that it's being sold under. There's a certain someone we all know who wants in on that, Larson. So shortly after Vince McMahon returned to WWE with the intent to explore options to sell the WWE, CNBC reported that AEW could be interested in merging with their competitor during a recent appearance on the Mark Hoke Show. Tony Khan was asked whether he's been following WWE's efforts to sell the company, and he said this: "These transcripts come to you via Fightful. I don't know exactly what will happen there. I've been told, and I think they've said publicly, that there may be a sale process. If there is a sale process, certainly I'm interested in it and potentially being involved in it. We'll have to see what that process is and who exactly they'll get involved in it. Certainly I'm interested in it very much." Kind of sounds like he's being frozen out of the process there, Larson, because he's on the outside looking in. So this isn't the first time that Khan has expressed interest in looking into a purchase of WWE. Back on January 17th, during an appearance on the Maggie and Perloff Show, and he stated this: "These transcripts, again, come to you via Fightful. I'm interested in the news that there is potentially a sales process, and certainly I think we've shown when there are acquisitions and transactions, we're capable of making the big purchases. Whether my dad steps up with the Jaguars or Fulham FC in the Premier League, and he's done such a great job building up the club and putting resources into it, and we're playing football at a high level, With AEW, we've shown that we can build a company. Even when I purchased Ring of Honor, that's a very different thing than WWE. But Ring of Honor is a company with 20 years of history, and I really have enjoyed running it. We've shown that we're at all-time highs in terms of every business metric since we've relaunched it, and it's only going to get better. AEW is my main focus, but certainly when that news is out there, it's very interesting. Stay tuned to Dynamite and Rampage, et cetera, et cetera. He likes promoting his shows.
Yes.
But yeah, it certainly seems like he's on the outside looking in, even though he had said, hey, we're interested. I don't know how much of that is just promoting and being a promoter and trying to make his brand name AEW sort of feel and look and be perceived as on the same level as the players involved for WWE. But how serious do you think Tony Khan is, and is he being frozen out of the process?
Well, that's two different questions. I think Tony Khan would probably be pretty interested because he knows if there was some sort of AEW WWE merger, the super cards that he would be able to put on would probably generate a lot of revenue for his companies.
Dream matches.
That being said, from a WWE's perspective, I would think maybe one of the last people Vince McMahon would want to sell the company to would be Tony Khan. Yeah. If it's a situation where the offer is so astronomically high that Vince runs the risk of being sued if he doesn't accept it.
Yeah.
By the shareholders, that would be the only situation I could see where Vince would willingly say, yes, Tony Khan is yours. Mm-hmm. Otherwise, I'd be very, very surprised.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he'd have to.
Just given what we know about Vince McMahon, what we've heard.
Yeah. It'd be really interesting to see if there are multiple offers on the table that are all on par with each other. Mm-hmm. I don't know what that number would have to be within what window.
Yeah. Like what percentage more would that number have to be for the shareholders to say, hold on, like you have to take this deal.
If Amazon said $8 billion plus $20,000.
Yeah.
But like the Saudi said, we're not going to go a dime over $8 billion. No more, no 20,000 for you.
Yeah.
Like, was that
the whole fiduciary duty and such?
Right.
Like, is that $20,000 in comparison with the $8 billion really that much of a difference to?
Probably not.
To trigger a lawsuit from shareholders.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know.
But if the one that's not $20,000 more involves Vince McMahon being in the company, if all things are equal, except there's a little bit more money, but on the other side, Vince gets to say with the company, he's like a 30% shareholder, so he could justify it. He's like, yeah, shareholder value, me. Mm-hmm. Oh man, I don't know.
But then you think there might be potential lawsuits then if there's going to be potential lawsuits in like a lot of situations. If Vince agreed to a deal, which primarily he agreed to because it put him back in power, then people might try to sue him because of that too. For all
there's already 4 lawsuits going on. You'd think that it'd have to be particularly egregious, leaving tons and tons on the table,
like billions of dollars on the table. Yeah,
right, for that to be the case. So I don't know. That's kind of interesting. Let's talk about this, man, because of course, Action Coast Wrestling Hot Stuff, our promotion is running same day as Elimination Chamber, but it's after the show.
Right.
So you can watch Elimination Chamber or just watch it the next day and then jam over to the Action Coast Empire Arena at the VDO Center. That's some really erratic driving right there. Whoa.
I'm driving fast, weaving through traffic, so don't do that though.
You're like Toonces, man. You're like Jack Bauer or Toonces.
Larson, watch out.
Larson, what?
Off the cliff I go.
The stock footage of the cliff and the car coming off it.
Yes, exactly.
So anyways, let's talk about NXT talent getting to work the indies, including Action Coast Wrestling. Prior to Saturday's NXT Vengeance Day premium live event, Brian Alvarez tweeted this out. NXT is going to allow talent to work select indies going forward, which is a pretty big deal. But during the post-Vengeance Day media call, Fightful Sean Ross Sapp asked Shawn Michaels, the Heartbreak Kid, about the possibility of NXT talents working indie dates, to which HBK said in these transcripts come to you via Fightful, as of right now, that was honestly a one-shot deal. Booker T, so this was Ivy Nile working Booker T's promotion.
Yes. Yeah, Reality of Wrestling,
Yeah. Booker has obviously been very good to us here. It was something that he asked, and we obviously wanted to help him out with that. As of right now, there's no talk of any of that to my knowledge. Right now, that was just us helping Booker out with the show and doing what we could to see if we could help. Right now, to the best of my knowledge, it's just a one-shot deal. And then on the Wrestling Observer Radio this weekend, Dave Meltzer provided some more details on Alvarez's original report. These transcripts come to you via WrestlingNews.co. He says, I'll try to explain it. Ivy and I will be working a show in a couple weeks for Booker T's Reality. Sorry, I have to pause really quick. I saw this hilarious. I don't know if this is generated by AI or if this was voice actors. But on Twitter, there's a clip going around that purports to be, and it's jokingly, so it's not, it's tongue in cheek, a clip from an old 2015 episode of what's Post Wrestling's old show, LAW.
Oh, yeah.
And it's Dave Meltzer getting into an argument with Roman Reigns over not giving Roman Reigns 5 stars. I'll send it to you. It's hilarious. And it sounds dead on. It sounds dead on. You'll be laughing your ass off. Anyways, I'm sure chat might have some more context. I just saw it randomly on Twitter and I loaded up. It was hilarious. Give me those 5 stars. Give me those fucking 5 stars, Dave. I will prepare a Superman punch. Anyways, he continues. Dave does. Right now, the reality of wrestling because of Booker T. Shawn Michaels actually said it's a one-time thing. From what I understand regarding reality of wrestling, they expect to get some NXT stars from time to time. Brian had put in a tweet, and Brian is basically correct, that there are several other companies that they have been talked to with the idea that they may be able to get NXT stars, but the Booker T thing has to go well. If it goes well, there are other companies, and I think they're targeting companies that have good relationships with AEW and see what they can do with AEW. Wow, okay. That's part of it, of course, too. They'd be willing to send, in theory, NXT talents to some independents that maybe companies have been talked to. Whether it ends up happening or not, we don't know.
I mean, I'm kind of, in terms of WWE working with indie promotions or allowing talent to take indie dates on a larger scale, apart from just a one-shot thing here or there.
The way AEW currently does with their talent.
Yes. I'm pessimistic it's going to happen until it actually happens.
Sure.
Given how WWE generally doesn't acknowledge the larger world of pro wrestling. I know that's changed a bit now that Triple H is in charge. But you know, you run the risk of people getting hurt at shows that aren't your own.
Sure.
On the flip side of that, it would be great if at the PC, they're like, okay, we have this WWE approach to wrestling, but our trainees could learn other approaches to wrestling and go on, you know, small excursions, if you will.
Sure.
Go wrestle different places across the country. Pick up different approaches to doing things. Bring those back to Performance Center and see if we could form some sort of amalgam between what we teach here at the Performance Center and wrestling styles across the United States and across the globe. I think that'd be great if they were open to that. I don't know if they would be, but I think that'd be pretty awesome.
Well, dude, I think that, you know, we started to see that with their relationship with Evolve. And I think they ended up just buying Evolve straight up.
Yeah.
But it wouldn't shock me to see, you're right. I don't think it would simply be what AEW does, which is, hey, we have you for TV. We got you guaranteed for anything we want you for. But beyond that, like if it's independent dates, like there was a spell where Malachi Black was all over Prestige Wrestling out here on the West Coast. And we see this plenty over on the East Coast. But that, you're right. I don't think that would happen without, I think there might be some sort of, I could see WWE establishing relationships with certain independent promotions and then doing some of that. I could totally see that. But it would be much more structured. Yeah. Much more structured and sort of regulated, if you will, by and arranged by WWE. Because from what I understand with AEW, it's like, hey, we have you on these dates, and then y'all can go figure it out yourselves. If you want to go make some more money, go ahead.
As long as wherever they're working doesn't have TV in North America, it's fine.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But yeah, with WWE, it's probably going to be arranged through WWE. It's like, hey, we've got these opportunities, and it's either, hey, we're going to send you there straight up, or you have the option of going there and picking up some more of the cash. That being said, how does ACW get in on this so we can get Von Wagner at our show, Larson?
I don't know how like, I don't know what the selection process would be for WWE.
Yeah,
I mean,
doubt it's going to be like a lottery, huh?
With the reality of wrestling situation, it's understandable. That's Booker T's promotion. That makes sense.
It's just going to be promotions that come across the radar of WWE. It's like, I don't know how much stock can be put into the GCW WWE relationship. I know Brett Lauderdale had spoken on that. I'm not sure how much of it was tongue in cheek or how much.
I mean,
of it
this
was
weekend he posted that
legit.
picture of him and Stephanie McMahon on Twitter again. You know,
right? I know exactly because of this. So I don't know how much. You basically just get on WWE's radar somehow. So let's that needs to be priority number one for us.
All right.
Get on their radar.
We'll put our heads together about that. See what we can come up with.
Von Wagner, hashtag Von Wagner to ACW.
Let's have the dumpster champ.
Hey,
come to ACW.
Hey, listen. Hey, who you? Zoe Blow, Alpha Zoe Blow. Anyways, Larson, you want to pay some bills before we keep this moving?
Let's do it.
All right.
Let's take a quick break here. Get a word from our sponsor, DraftKings Sportsbook. So, Steve.
Yes?
Are you ready for the biggest Sunday in all of sports? I know I am. I got my Eagles gear all ready to go. I've been practicing the Eagles fight song in preparation for the game this weekend. You want to hear me sing it?
No.
You can do it right now.
No, nope. No, not really. No, no. I don't like when you're enthusiastic. Anyways, look, man, I'm sure everybody out there wants to hear about how DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of Super Bowl 57, has all the Super Bowl action you're going to need. You see, Larson, new customers can bet $5 and get $200 in bonus bets instantly.
Oh, yeah. Plus, all customers can get in on the Super Bowl 57 excitement with DraftKings Happy Hour Super Boost. And here's what you have to do. Check out the DraftKings Sportsbook every day between 6 p.m. and 9 p.m. Eastern. That's between 3 p.m. and 6 p.m. Pacific to see what prop bet will be boosted. Speaking of boosted, Steve, I'm going to boost your spirits with the fight song of my pick to win this year. Are you ready?
No, don't do it. Stop it. Stop. I'm tapping out. Listen.
Victory.
Okay, stop. This is what they got to do. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code RAW. New customers can bet $5 on Super Bowl 57 and get $200 in bonus bets instantly. Only at DraftKings Sportsbook with code RAW. Minimum age and eligibility restrictions apply. See show notes for details. Don't you start it.
Score a touchdown. 1, 2, 3.
Before we keep going here with our SmackDown recap, want to mention this really quick on the channel right now and wherever podcasts can be found. Of course, we've got for everybody now the first episode of WCW Nitro reviewed by Steven Larson as our first retro review of the year. So you can check that out right now. We've got episodes. The latest episode of Smash Zone is also available right now for patrons at $5 and up and YouTube channel members. Just click join. Also right now, this coming Friday for Overrun, we're going to be doing exclusive for channel members and YouTube and patrons, $5 and up, our February retro review. And it is either going to be the first episode of Monday Night Raw or the first episode of Extreme Championship Wrestling Hardcore TV. It's not the very first ECW episode when it was Eastern Championship Wrestling. We nailed it down to the specific date and episode when they started becoming Extreme Championship Wrestling. You can vote on that right now. Patreon.com/Steven Larson at $5 up and then over on the channel memberships as well. Just click join. It is a close race right now. It is 55-57 in favor of Extreme Championship.
Wait, 55-57? That's 112%.
There's two different. It's 55 votes, 57. No, there's not no. It's not percent. I'm sorry. The number of votes.
Gotcha.
Between both Patreon and channel memberships, 57 to 55. Yeah, sorry. 102% people are voting. No. 57 votes, 55 votes in total. So it can still go either way. So your vote can absolutely count if you become a YouTube channel member, click join, or a patron, patreon.com/Steven Larson. I want to give a quick shout out to Daniel Rocket, Lump Beef Broth, Mr. Dope, Miss Molly, Faux Drake, Fran Zolero, Travis Graves, and those are the new channel members or returning channel members. And then we got new and returning patrons, Steve There, Schnitzel, Richard Ward, Ryan Loves Heavy Metal, and Cosmic 497. Thank you so much. And then you get your name on the little scroll down here.
Did you get the latest member we got here on YouTube? Super Smash Master 174.
That's right. Super Smash Master 174. Thank you so much. I'm going to add your name to the scroll. And thank you for your membership. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Before we get rolling with the SmackDown 2, we got a super chat here from Naso. It says, I wanted to ask, when are you going to do what we've all been waiting for? Count out 10 reasons why Sid is the best wrestler ever.
It's a good idea.
I put together a short last night for the WrestleJuice channel, but it's also going to go up on our TikTok, the Friendo Club TikTok. And it's every WCW world title change in 2000 in under a minute.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I'm like a Micro Machines guy.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
That's good. Did you record at normal speed and then just pitch it up so it's fast?
No, but I did cheat. I recorded at normal speed, but then I sliced I said one, I took a pause and a breath, said the other, took a pause, and I just sliced out all the empty space.
And put it all together, yeah.
Barely fit in under a minute, but I got it done.
Wow.
Yeah, man.
Wow. While we're taking this moment here to plug stuff, if you're watching here on the YouTube right now, give us a thumbs up, please. Give us a like.
You know how happy
calls in later.
Oh,
he likes it. Happy. He likes it when we have over 200 likes. He puts him in a much better mood and makes the interview process much easier for old Larson if Triple H is happy.
You don't want him in a grumpy mood, man. It's Monday. It's a toss-up. It really is.
It really is.
Anyways, let's talk about SmackDown. I thought the closing segment there was absolutely killer stuff with Roman just talking all sorts of shit. You broke up my family. I'm going to destroy you at Elimination Chamber in front of your family. Of course, they're in Montreal.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was good stuff. Sami coming in, attacking Roman, hitting an awesome spear.
Yeah, that was sick.
The spear looked great, and it's a hell of a sell by Roman.
Yeah.
And then having Jimmy and Solo rush into the ring after Roman said, "Hey, go to the bus, enjoy some sushi and steak."
He was getting very detailed with the culinary delights on the bus.
Yes,
bus food
accoutrements.
They got top bus food over there. The Bloodline
in the bus, but they run out to make the save.
Do you think he invited the Banger Brothers to the bus?
I don't know if he probably not, because I don't know if he wanted the Banger Brothers bus.
Look at that. Alley-oop, baby.
But you never know. Hey, after he accepts Sami's challenge for Elimination Chamber, and the Bloodline beat him down. Maybe he's in a good mood.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Maybe Roman's in a good mood. It's like, hey, Banger Brothers.
Yeah.
Come aboard my bus.
Yeah. Have the Banger Brothers bus. Sure, why not?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh man. Let's see here. What else is going on? We got one more entrant in the Women's Elimination Chamber. It's Natalya. So what is it at now? Is this the only?
It's Natalya, who's officially in it?
Yeah.
It's Natalya. It's Asuka. It's Liv.
Yeah, and Nikki Cross.
And then
isn't there's a match tonight to determine the last person that goes?
Yeah, but there's 5 already confirmed.
Okay, and it's 6
Number
pods
who the 5th
altogether.
is. Raquel. Thank you, White Brand.
Raquel.
Yes,
there
Raquel.
we go. Yeah. So Natalya's in there. That's probably smart. She's a veteran, But I like these other names here. Shotzi. I would be kind of scared. Shotzi does some crazy shit sometimes. so like gets me on the edge of my seat.
Edge of your seat, yeah.
I liked Zelina should have been in the chamber. She's been putting in some really good work lately.
Yeah. That'd been cool. That would have been cool.
Shayna's great too.
Yep. I guess we can get into it. The show kicked off with Kayla Braxton outside the arena, awaiting the arrival of the Bloodline. So SUV pulls up, Roman, Solo, and Jimmy exit, and Kayla's trying to ask Roman a question. He just walks past. As she's asking about Jay's status, and Heyman stops and says, "Such a cold-blooded question from a warm-hearted lady. We can't confirm or deny Jay's status in the Bloodline at this time."
Can't confirm or deny Jay's status in the Bloodline. Then we had Braun Strowman and Ricochet versus Imperium. Of course, this was the last match to determine. Yeah.
Hold on a second. I got a question for you.
What's up?
This is the first time I've ever noticed it. Maybe it's a new thing, or I don't know. But throughout this match, Michael Cole was calling them the Imperium and not just Imperium.
Oh, I didn't even notice that.
They did on several occasions. I don't know if it's a new thing, if that's actually their new name or what.
You know what I noticed in this match? They didn't mention specifically that it was for the SmackDown tag titles. And that's in fact, the graphic that they had down there was the half and half tag titles. And Michael Cole, I don't think he referred to him as the undisputed Raw and SmackDown tagged, or WWE, whatever they call them.
Yeah.
But he also didn't specifically refer to them as the SmackDown tag titles, and it was the red and blue graphic of the title. So I wonder if that was just
both sets of belts. Huh?
I wonder if that was like a one-time thing when it was just for the Raw tag titles, and they're like, "Oh, psych, we thought you guys thought we were going to split them, and then we're not." Because maybe they realize now, hey, if we're going to go Sami, Kevin Owens, we do want it to have the whole enchilada there.
Yeah.
Especially because one I think is a SmackDown guy, the other guy's a Raw guy.
Yeah. This is a good match. They gave it a ton of time.
Yeah, this was
like
awesome.
20-some minutes. In the end, Ricochet and Braun get the win. Braun hits Ludwig with the Monster Bomb, tags in Ricochet. He hits the Swanton off Braun's shoulders.
Mm-hmm.
Scored the pinfall victory.
Yeah, that was a cool finishing right there.
That was
neat.
A cool bit.
I like that him being like usually just a Swanton, unless you're Jeff Hardy's not probably going to get the job done, but because he's coming off of Braun's shoulders, some of the Braun energy.
Yeah,
I guess I don't really know what the explanation is. Sometimes just something looks cool. The cooler it looks, the more powerful it is. I guess
that could be.
Yeah.
After that, we had a Charlotte interview. She's asked about facing Rhea at WrestleMania. Charlotte says WrestleMania is going to be epic, but tonight my focus is on Sonya. I know she complained to get her way, but I mean, we're in Carolina, and Sonya steps in and says, "Oh, you mean we're in Flair country?" Or should I say, she insults. I think they're in South Carolina.
Oh, she says Hicksville, man. I'll say
that.
So
says
rude.
No place.
So rude.
Place no one literally wants to be, including myself, but I'm here for one thing and only one thing, and that's the women's title here on SmackDown. Then it'll be me and Rhea at WrestleMania, because WrestleMania is in Hollywood, and that means stars, and I'm a star.
You know what, man? I'm hoping after Elimination Chamber, when we're firmly on road to Mania, because right now we're on the road to Elimination Chamber, they got to do some of those vignettes, man. They got to do some of those movie recreations.
Oh, yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah.
I mean, the way they were hyping him up on Twitter and such, and actually during Raw, too, showing the one they did years ago. Maybe that's the tease. The one
tease, yeah. Year. Like, hey, remember how cool we were back then? We're still cool.
They got to bring back Dave Bautista for one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, I agree. He's good. He's an actual actor. I don't know why I said that. After that, we had a Clash at the Coliseum video package for Coliseum home video. So this is a big NASCAR race, I guess it's going to happen. Is that right?
It already did happen happened yesterday.
Oh, it happened. Okay, so they were hyping that up because this went down on Friday. So New Day and Ray are at the Coliseum before the race, and then Judgment Day, they roll up, and then they just start talking all sorts of shit. Was this the entire? Did they actually show the race later? Or is this the actual?
This is all right here.
This is the whole thing. Yeah,
this is the whole thing.
So yeah, this was great. So like,
race,
So like Judgment Day rolls up, and Dom already has like a NASCAR suit on.
Yeah, but then he insults. Was it Michael Waltrip or the
no,
other
he
guy?
doesn't. He doesn't have it on yet. No,
he insults the other guy. Says, "Oh, why is that guy wearing his pajamas?"
Yeah. And then I like when Ray starts to put his on. He's like, "Oh man, when you put this on, what did he say? When you put this on, does this give you extra boost?" The beast mode comes out. He says something like beast mode comes out when you put this on, the NASCAR pajamas. And then they get in the cars and they're just riding shotgun. Ray and Dom aren't actually driving. They're just riding shotgun.
No, they are.
They were?
Aren't they? Yeah, they were.
I swear I thought they were just riding shotgun.
No, the drivers, the professional drivers were riding shotgun, unless it was like a driver training car where they had brake and gas over on the passenger side.
Oh, man, I am tripping. Okay.
I like that Dom kept on saying, "Where's the NOS button?"
I like that he was like, I'll beat your ass like I did back when I used to do go-kart racing. And Ray said, "I'm going to spank you like you're 3 years old again."
Yeah, there's some good crap talk here.
Yeah, there's some pretty funny stuff.
In the end, Ray got the win, though.
Yeah, from cheating. According to Dom, anyways.
That's what Dom said.
Yeah.
Despite what Dom said that day, he did not, in fact, piss excellence. Because he took the L. After that, we got Sonya Deville versus Charlotte Flair. Another quality match between Sonya and Charlotte. Sonya came up short yet again. Charlotte's looking for a moonsault. Sonya evades that. Rolls up Charlotte, puts her feet on the rope, gets a 2. And then she's looking for a figure 4. The second time she looked for a figure 4 during the bout. Charlotte boots her off. puts on a figure 8 to get the win.
Yep. What do you think happens with Sonya Deville now, man? She's so good. She's so flipping good.
I know. Like, if I get her some wins, get her in some good stories.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I would say.
Yeah. They need to bring Naomi back. Pick that back up again. I feel like they didn't really fully get that thing for Naomi and Sonya Deville. After that, we had a Cody Rhodes video package. Another just beautiful video package.
Yeah, he even the Rumble and go to WrestleMania. Yeah,
he mentioned that. He mentioned that in the that interview we were talking about earlier. He drew parallels obviously to the Triple H Beautiful Day package. Yeah, it was good stuff. I don't want to some people's going to repack. I don't want to repackage of Sonya. I think she's great.
She needs a new Tron though.
Definitely needs a new Tron.
She needs the strobe light entrance again. That's what she needs.
Yeah, she does.
You're actually agreeing with me. That's good.
No, I was paying attention to something over here, and then you said,
"Well, you said
that's
yes."
Usually,
so
what I do.
I think we're in agreement, so we can move on. We're inside the Bloodline locker room, so Solo and Jimmy are sitting there, kind of pondering.
Oh man!
Camera pans over to Roman, and he's steamed. He's mad,
pissed off,
just angry.
So who do you want to be? You want to be Roman? You want to be Jimmy? Solo doesn't talk.
You be Roman, I be Jimmy.
All right, good. So Roman asks Jimmy, "Where's your brother?"
I don't know where he is.
You haven't talked to him?
I haven't heard from him.
I don't know if that's just me. Don't you find that disrespectful? Not only does he walk out, but he doesn't care enough to communicate. It's one thing to walk out, but to not hear from him for a whole week. And don't you have a title match next week? You don't walk out on your obligations. I'm going to ask you again. Have you talked to your brother?
And I'm going to tell you again, I haven't heard from him. But he's going to be there. He's my brother. He just needs some time to chill out. He'll be there.
He'll be there for you. What about all of us? Is he going to be there for all the Bloodline? Solo, have you talked to your brother?
If I haven't heard from him, he ain't talking to nobody. Nobody's heard from Jay.
I don't think you guys understand the urgency that's needed right now. Wise man, is it not WrestleMania season right now? Yes, it is. Tribal Chief, it is WrestleMania season. You ain't going to find him on the couch. I want to know where your brother is. Find him now. And then Jimmy gets up and goes. Oh, Solo goes too.
Yeah, they both get up and go, Yeah.
End scene.
Well done. There's more of that later.
Yeah.
So then we got Brawling Brutes versus the Viking Raiders. Physical bout. Viking Raiders get the win here. Butch eats the pin. I know.
Yeah, Butch eats the pin. Butch is taking losses. I don't like that.
Boo. Yeah, I don't like Butch taking losses. Peter Dune should be getting wins, not L's.
Repackage him to 2017, Peter Dune.
I know. Exactly. The Viking Raiders hit Butch with a double team powerbomb to get the win. They go up the ramp. They're met there by Drew and Sheamus, the Banger Bros. Brawl breaks out and eventually leads to Drew kicking Ivar backstage. He goes on the ramp, rips his shirt off.
Oh, yeah, dude. Beef. Showing
the beef. And then he and Sheamus, who had his shirt ripped off by Eric, they pose on the ramp.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yep. After that, we had a pitch black match recap followed by Bray Wyatt just sitting, the camera sort of behind him. He's sitting in a rocking chair. And then Uncle Howdy shows up. He's there. And he puts his hand on the shoulder. And so they're all like facing away from us. And then all of a sudden Uncle Howdy is standing. So he's like out of the frame. And then he dips his head in the frame and just looks at us.
Real quick, and then it cuts real quick. At least they didn't have his head linger this time, you know.
But the question is, Nightfall 78 here, returning channel member for 15 months now says, let me talk to you. What's next for LA Knight? Where's LA Knight?
I don't know. Did you? Apparently, Bray at a house show over the weekend had the Uncle Howdy mask on. Not with the mustache, but the one that goes over the Uncle Howdy mask, you know.
All right.
The one they sell on WWE Shop.
So I don't know if we're just getting a glimpse into Bray Wyatt's, you know, like we're getting a video feed from like his psyche, or I don't know what's happening.
Yeah, I don't know either. I'm
playing mind games with everybody, man.
After that, we got the four-way match. Winner gets into the chamber bout. Elimination Chamber, Shotzi versus Natalya versus Shayna Baszler versus Zelina Vega.
Yeah.
As mentioned, Natalya got the win here. The finishing sequence is pretty cool. Mm-hmm. So Shotzi hits Shayna with a suicide dive, then Zelina hits a moonsault to the floor to take out Shotzi. Natalya puts Shotzi back on the ring, locks on a sharpshooter. Zelina breaks it up, so Shotzi hits her with a tiger suplex. Shayna locks the clutch on Zelina. Natalya tries to break up with the discus clothesline. Shayna ducks that, releases clutch on Zelina, puts it on Natalya, and then Natalya flings Shayna out of the ring, puts the sharpshooter on Zelina, and Zelina taps. Natalya goes to Elimination Chamber.
Yeah, good stuff. Yeah. After that, we have more Heyman and Roman in the locker room now because Jimmy's out looking for Jay. So Heyman tells Roman, "I'm sorry, Tribal Chief," with his red phone. Jay's phone goes right to voicemail. And then Jimmy and Solo show back up. I don't know. Where were they looking, behind boxes or something? Where were they looking? Roman the arena?
They went to catering and just came back.
And Jimmy's like, "Solo, what are we going to do?" And Solo just sits there eating. He's like, "Not my problem." So he says, Jimmy says he tried to get a hold of Jay, but nothing happened. And Roman says, "I don't understand. Of all the time of year for this to happen, we were doing so good. No problems, no hiccups. You know how much I got on my plate, right? You understand the stress of this position. I feel like I'm getting pulled in two different directions, spread too thin right now. Because I love you all. I'm sorry for speaking to you the way I did. I need you all, and I need us to be as strong as we ever were. Because if we're not, there ain't no more of this." Holds up his finger. They're just a couple of guys, according to Wrestling News now. And then he says, "Wise man had catering sent to the bus. There's a whole lot of sushi, steak. It's a good dinner. A little bit of Arby's there. One of those garlic roast beef sandwiches. Sirloin. I want you guys to go to ribeye. And a whole bowl of curly fries, fresh, crispy from the air fryer now. So I want you guys to go to the bus, go eat. Go to the ring and handle some business." They're gonna go eat all that sushi, start crop dusting the bus.
I know.
He says, "I need you all with me. Don't you all understand?" And Jimmy says, "Yeet." And then Roman says, I'll meet up with you guys later. I got some business to take care of in the ring."
Yep. And that was next after commercial break. Thank you, New Legacy, for the sub. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
So Roman gets to the ring, gets the mic from Heyman. Crowd starts chanting for Sami. So Roman tells the crowd to acknowledge him. They do, with a mix of cheers and boos, and then they break out. The crowd does pretty quickly into a Sami chant. So Roman says, I was going to ask you all what you wanted me to talk about, but I guess it's pretty obvious. See, I'd rather talk about Cody, the guy who won the Rumble and is the number one contender, someone who actually deserves my attention. But you simple folks have reduced me to talking about the past, and this brings more Sami chants. He says, all right, you want me to talk about Sami? I'll talk about Sami. But remember, there's two sides to every story, so I'm going to talk about mine. In order to hear my side of the story, we got to go back to War Games. Remember, Wise Man, when I told the whole world that I looked Sami in his eyes and I saw everything I needed to see? Would you like to know what I saw that night? I saw greed. I saw the same thing I see in everyone I ever interact with nowadays. If a restaurant is lucky enough to have me there when I walk in, the hostess, the waiters, everybody back in the kitchen, everyone says, I want this. It's not, Tribal Chief, it's great to see you. What can I do for you? No, it's what can I do for you, like I haven't done enough already. So I do the same thing for Sami. I give him the opportunity of a lifetime, and he uses me, uses the bloodline, and uses my island of relevancy. No different than all of you. Want. You can't ever give back, huh?
And then Sami shows up. Hooded Sami shows up from behind. Blasts Roman, hits him ground and pound. Roman hits Sami with some knees, stomps him to the mat, tells Heyman, "Give me a chair." Heyman hands Roman a chair. Roman primes to take a swing, but Sami drops him with a really great-looking spear.
Yeah, that was a great spear.
So Sami picks up the chair, takes a swing. Roman rolls out. Sami grabs his mic. He is geeked out right now. He says, "You're wrong about me. I never wanted anything from you. I never wanted anything from you until now. So I want something from you now, and I'm going to take it because I'm coming after you in the undisputed title." Crowd goes crazy. And then he turns around. Whoop-a, eats a super kick from Jimmy. Him and Solo beat down Sami. Roman strolls back into the ring casually. Solo hits Sami with a Samoan spike. Jimmy grabs a chair, wraps it around Sami's head. He's in the corner. Solo's about to hit him with that hip attack. Roman stops him. He says to Sami, "You want something from me?" Takes a chair off Sami's head. Crowd starts chanting, "We want Jay." He says, "You hear that? They want Jay. But I don't have Jay because you broke up my bloodline. My right-hand man isn't here because of you, Sami. I gave you the key to the kingdom. I gave you an invitation into the promised land. And how do you repay me? You break up my family. So I'm going to give you what you want but you're going to give me what I want. I want you in Montreal. I want you at Elimination Chamber because you broke up my family. I'm going to break you in front of your entire family, your parents, your wife, your child, all your family, your friends. I want them to see what happens when you play with the Bloodline and mess with my family. Ooh, hot stuff.
And it was good because it was just, he didn't have the mic in his hand. This is just camera audio.
Yeah.
And towards the end, he was talking so loud that he was blowing out that mic.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like the audio started to clip.
Yeah.
It was good stuff.
Yeah, no, it was really hot stuff right there, man. It was good.
Hot stuff.
Hot stuff. Also hot stuff this weekend. We had NXT Vengeance Day. Fun time watching the stream with you and the Enforcer and the Friendos. Thanks everybody for showing up. That was a blast.
It was fun.
A lot of channel points changing hands. But yeah, we had 2 title changes.
One.
Yeah. Both tag titles.
Yes, both tag titles. That's correct. Both tag titles changed hands. You are right. Yeah. North American title and the NXT title did not change hands, however.
Although one of Dijak's fingers tried to change hands.
Yeah, seemingly. It definitely changed disposition, yes.
Yeah,
it was about a 35-degree angle to the side.
It was too many degrees to the side, man.
But apparently it wasn't broken. It was just dislocated.
They just pop it back in? Is that the update? I saw the headline. I didn't bother to read it.
I saw the x-ray that Dijak put up of his finger going wonky.
Before we hop into the NXT Vengeance Day recap, Nasso here with a super chat says, who should beat Roman for the title? I suggest Double J with a Jarrett Gold commercial during the match. I think it's a great option. It's
an interesting option, yeah.
Absolutely.
We got another super chat here from Abdullah Frederick. Says, good evening from South Africa. Hello.
Good evening. Well, hello. Thank you very much. Yeah, so dude, I'll be honest with you. I kind of feel like for my money, there was a lot of really good wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if it was maybe the placement, but that first match, the Wesley Dijak match, I think it might have been my match of the night right there. And there was a lot of good matches.
There was. I was pretty fond of Carmelo versus Apollo Crews.
2-0.
I know.
Straight pinfalls right there.
I know. And White Brownie sent me a thing on Twitter. I forgot exactly where Carmelo talked about this, about how, I guess in hindsight, he kind of wished that they had pushed the 2 out of 3 falls aspect of the match more. And he said people are so kind of used to those type matches going, someone winning the first fall, the other person winning the second, just go to a decisive third and final fall.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess if they had kind of done prior to the match, doing more of a story about winning the falls individually and what that means, especially in terms of someone sweeping the other, that might have kind of helped the story of the match a bit.
Yeah, it was a tad abrupt with Aziz showing up and then it just leading to that fall right there. But still pretty shocking and pretty interesting. Although I know a lot of people, well, I don't know. I forget what the action was. It was probably pretty decent for Apollo to win that fall in the channel points. But I think it was in the back of everybody's head. Like if they really want to make Carmelo, which clearly they do, because we could talk about this a little bit. He showed up at the end of the show to confront Braun Breaker. I understand that here this would be ideal for me. This would be awesome. And it's something we almost got, but we didn't get with Solo Sikoa. Sorry. When he won the North American title. And that was Solo Sikoa, North American champion, doing double duty, hanging out on main roster. I want Carmelo Hayes to win that title at Stand and Deliver, which I think he's totally going to do.
Yeah.
And then join the Hurt Business and do double duty. How fucking cool would it be if the NXT champion is in? Because, dude, I want them. I think Carmelo is the type of guy, they need to give him kind of the Kevin Owens NXT champion treatment where he made the title feel important. I think, creatively speaking, they dropped the ball on Braun Breaker. They've had him for over a year now.
Yeah.
And as basically...
Carmelo said that during Unbusted Open. Sorry, I didn't want to get that in there. Sorry, Mike.
As like their top guy. And there's been in terms of in-ring, he's developed. He's gotten better. He's had a lot of really good opponents. And especially the Ilya J.D. McDonough match, I thought was my favorite Braun Breaker match. That was really good. So good. I liked what we saw. I like what we see in-ring, in character for him. But all of the build stuff with him, he's oddly bland for a Steiner.
Yeah. I mean, his story still, after being champ for almost a year, more or less, is him learning to be a wrestler and being a champion. It's like people have found or people think they know what buttons they need to push to get him off his game because he's inexperienced. And so in the build-up, we saw this with Waller. He's like, I know how to get in your head. I know how to get you off your game, and I can beat you. And in the end, it was Braun channeling that frustration, that aggression he had towards Waller for getting in his head and almost spearing him in half. You know, so it seems like if any story beat occurred during the match in terms of his overall character arc, it's like, oh, he's finally come to the point now where people try to get in his head, and he knows how to not only overcome that, but channel that to help him win matches. You know, that was like the whole thing with when he lost the belt to Dolph, is Dolph basically tricked him into making the match with Ciampa a triple threat, and he came in and won it.
Yeah. No, I mean, I like that stuff originally, like him trying to figure out, but it's been over a year. He knows how to be champion. Like he is.
That's
champion.
What I'm saying.
It's
been the same story more or less for a year. Yeah.
And there's been like no development in his act, in his personality. And it's, you know, it's wrestling. You got to find some way to be entertaining.
Well, we found one new thing about him. He likes to go fishing. Let's not forget that.
I stand corrected. Yeah. But here's the thing: if you're gonna be NXT champ, you got to be the most electric fisherman there is. And from what I saw, I don't know. He's just out there on a little.
He does that
boat.
To unwind. Just to unwind.
Exactly. It's very peaceful out there.
Yes. Very serene.
But
Very
he's
peaceful.
a Steiner. I don't want him to be serene. He
Yeah,
should be out there. I mean, Grayson Waller had the freaks. You know, he had all the ladies. He had like, you know, the chain mail.
Yeah.
Grayson Waller is more Steiner than Steiner is.
You know what they got to do with Braun for these entrances?
Give him freaks.
For these premium live events, these special episodes. He always has to like bust through something. But they're always like the lamest things. They literally had him bust through a poster.
It's getting worse. He barely ripped the poster.
Yeah, it was already cut in half. He just kind of like popped through it.
At least before they gave him like big old like foam core, styrofoam NXT logos and shit.
No, they're still pretty lame. Like have a brick wall, have him bust through that Kool-Aid Man style.
Shows up. Hey, what am I going to break this time? We have a poster. Paper, yeah.
I know.
Not very intimidating. Come on, give me something more like a boulder.
Yeah, there we go.
Could you break through a boulder? You can't kayfabe it.
I don't know, man. Yeah, they got to do something because these entrances.
It doesn't get me geeked out to be like, oh man, I can't wait to watch Champion. I'm geeked out to see Carmelo. I'm looking forward. If it's a situation where they're not going to call him up, what a great way to transition him to main roster as opposed to just a standard call up where he's just cold.
Yeah,
have him be NXT champion and then have him pull double duty as NXT champion on the Raw brand.
So compare Braun's entrance, which is busting through a poster, to Carmelo, where Trick comes out and hangs some banners of Melo's accomplishments in NXT.
Oh, man,
that's good.
That was
that's
great.
Something that actually elevates the character.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I agree.
Mayor Planet Houston has a good idea for Braun's entrance. Set up a midi city and have him bust through it like Godzilla.
I love it. That's awesome.
That's a good idea.
That's a great idea. Like a Lego city, and then he starts stepping on like, this is ill-conceived. I'm stepping on Legos now. They hurt.
Hurts my foot.
Hurts my foot. My feetsies. Let's just dive into it. So Wesley defeated Dijak. There's a great spot here. So they go to the outside. He puts Dijak in an office chair, and then he gets out a broom, a Kenny Omega broom. And then he puts it through the office chair. So he pins him into the office chair. Yeah. He hits a super kick. He goes up top. Well, Tony D and Stax run to ringside, and they push Lee out of the way of Dijak's insane moonsault. It's always easy to forget that for being such a beanpole, such a tall, big dude, Dijak does some crazy cool shit.
He does, yeah.
And he busts his fingers along the way. So he did that.
His finger, yeah.
He did that really cool moonsault, but he ended up hitting Tony D and Stax instead. He gets back in, and then Lee wins with like a flipping kick, which was cool. And then you see they did a great close up, and then you see his mangled hand.
Yeah.
But yeah. So are Tony D and Stax, are they going to try to recruit Wes Lee into their group? I think that'd be kind of cool, to be honest with you.
I just think it's more of a way to further the Dijak Tony D'Angelo feud.
Stick it to Dijak?
Yeah.
Yeah, man, maybe.
Yeah, I think that's all it is. After that, we got a Caden Carter, Katana Chance interview. Katana Chance says, we faced everybody and beaten them all en route to becoming the longest reigning champs. And Carter says, not to sound cocky, we busted our ass, become champions, and that ain't ending tonight. Well, unfortunately for them, it did end on Saturday night, their reign.
We'll get to that in a little bit here. That's what we're getting to right now, actually.
Yeah.
Kiana James and Fallon Henley versus Kaden Carter and Katana Chance. Of course, Kiana James and Fallon Henley, they ended up making a pretty decent tag team. Like, you know, they got decent chemistry. They're always bickering and stuff. But
well, that's the thing. So long as Fallon doesn't catch Kiana doing anything that's bending of the rules or cheating, everything's fine.
Yeah.
But if she sees her cheat, then she has a problem with that. And that's why they won, because she didn't see Kiana cheat.
She needs to get over it. Well, yeah, because it ended up with what? So somebody takes out Kaden Carter.
So it's Carter and Chance looking for their finish.
Yeah.
And so Kiana pushes Katana Chance off the top.
That's what it was, yeah.
And then Fallon rolls up Kaden, and then, Kiana grabs onto Carter's feet so she can't kick out. So they win new tag champs.
If you're Fallon Henley, are you watching tape of this afterwards? Like, you have to at least at some point see how this finish went down.
And if not, for sure, Carter and Chance are going to say, "Oh, are you happy cheating to win?"
Yeah, right.
Because for sure, I'm sure Carter's like, "Why was there pressure on my feet when I was getting pinned?" That doesn't make any sense. That she'll watch the tape.
She'll watch, and Fallon will be like, "I've been busy running my empty bar, so I have not seen the tape. I've not
been
watched
scouring
it.
the internet for new sound effects of busy bar
to pipe
play at my
into the
empty
bar." And then they show her the video. I mean, at that point, isn't she like, well, you know what? It works. It works. Some of the greats, Eddie Guerrero,
Yep.
you know, lots of others have cheated, to get the win. And really, like you mentioned last time, you know, you were adamant, that's not really cheating. The ref didn't see. They didn't catch. So it's not really cheating, is it?
Well, I mean, some of the things that Kiana was doing, not on Saturday, but the previous NXT, weren't cheating. The bending the rules, maybe, but it wasn't out and out cheating.
Well, okay, but you know, if it's something that the ref's gonna scold you, if it's something you only feel comfortable doing while the ref is distracted, isn't it sort of more cheating than not? I'm not saying it's like actually.
It depends.
Like if it's something you're gonna get scolded for doing by the ref,
I don't think that's cheating. I think if the ref sees you get DQ'd, then you're cheating.
But here's the thing: if the ref catches you a couple times, eventually he's gonna DQ you.
Maybe.
Yeah,
maybe
that's the thing. So I don't know. She needs to come to terms with Kiana James, clearly a winner, and she knows how to keep that gold. And maybe you should ask for some advice. Kiana James was in AEW for like a couple episodes of Dark and Elevation.
Yeah,
you know, maybe hey, you were out there doing your thing. I'm new. Teach me your ways. She's like, okay.
So was Fallon Henley. She was on.
Oh, did she do
Elevation.
A couple?
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
Right on. Well, there you go. So anyways, new women's tag champions. I don't know. Should you just call up Kaden Carter and Katana Chance and break them up? What do you do? They're going to be like the Aaliyah of NXT now. They're going to be there forever. They've been there for a long time.
They have been there for a long time. That's kind of been their story. It took them forever to get those tag titles. I know.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if they get a rematch on an episode of NXT and they lose, they're getting called up.
Yeah.
Or if they get another.
I don't know.
If they take their time to get to the rematch, and in the process, like really, through the story of the match, drive Henley and Kiana James apart, get those tag titles back, then I guess they ain't getting called up.
Dude, I wouldn't assume that they're going to get called up if they lose the rematch. I think that there's a good possibility they'll just sort of linger there. Maybe they could do a breakup angle, get a couple months out of that, and then hope for the best. I don't know.
I don't know either.
They have some really cool offense though. They're like some of their shit is really creative.
Yeah.
After that, we had a Lyra Valkyria video package. She didn't really say a whole lot here.
I was talking about Cora Jade.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, they were supposed to have a match like last week.
She's got issue with Cora Jade.
Yeah. Then we had Carmella Hayes versus Apollo Crews. Best 2 out of 3 falls. We had, like you mentioned earlier, Trick comes out to call out Carmelo to intro him. And, you know, he listed off all of his accomplishments. What was it, 2021 breakout guy, North American champion, other things.
The North American and Cruiserweight titles.
He did that, yeah. And there was one other thing. And then
pretty much all his accolades so far.
Yeah. So Mello comes out. Apollo comes out. They have match. Cruz ends up going down 0-1 after tapping out to the crossface from Carmelo. But that first fall, it was pretty long.
Yeah.
And it was just, man, goddamn, it was a clinic, dude. It was so good.
Yeah. Fast, crisp wrestling. Good stuff. So then later on, Trick gets on the apron, removes one of the top turnbuckle covers. So, to help Mello, but instead Cruz sends Mello into it. Mello rolls out of the ring. Trick gets on the apron with the chair. And then Dabba-Kato, Commander Aziz, comes to ringside, yanks Trick off the apron. And due to that distraction, Carmelo gets back in the ring and hits Cruz for his finisher to get the second fall and win the match. So Trick and Mello take their leave. Dabba-Kato gets in the ring, helps Cruz up, gives him a huge hug. And the smile he has at first turns into a frown.
Yeah.
He hits Cruz with the headbutt, kicks the chair that Trick had towards the middle of the ring, and hits a huge sit-down choke bomb on that chair. So we're getting Dabba-Kato Apollo Crews feud here.
That's cool. I wonder how they're going to kayfabe their history. Hey,
Yeah.
I thought you were some sort of military guy and I was your commander, but then I never got any paychecks from your military, from your government arm, whatever And then Apollo's like, dude, wasn't it clear? I was just sort of fucking around. He's like, you owe me back pay. You owe me my officer salary, my commander salary, back pay, Apollo. He's like, it was fake.
Yeah. Mm.
And then they go to small claims court, maybe.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah.
In front of Judge JBL.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So after that, Briggs, Jensen, Fallon, and Kiana celebrate backstage. Shockingly, Briggs did not rat out Kiana's cheating like he did that last time.
I was very surprised.
Fallon says it's so funny to watch Briggs do like a cartoonish version of, a country boy.
Yeah.
Because he's not very good at it. He's got the enthusiasm, but he's so cartoonish. Yeah, come on. Let's go drink.
Yeah.
I love your assessment that he'd be much better off in Impact Wrestling.
Yeah, he would.
Anyways,
he definitely would.
Yeah. So anyway.
Even with the same gimmick, he'd be better off at Impact.
Yeah, I agree with that too. Because he's like, he's literally fourth fiddle in this entire story. Because at least Jensen's got the girl, and Kiana's the mastermind of getting the gold, and Fallon Henley's a champion, and Briggs is the guy holding the champagne bottles. Yeah, Let's go drinking.
He's the one that's kind of along for the ride at this point. Yeah,
he was evolved champion, man. He could be where Austin Theory is right now.
Yeah, he could be. Yeah. Next we had Chase U versus Pretty Deadly versus Gallus. Versus the New Day for the tag title. This was a really fun bout. On
the YouTube chat, Brain Dead by Default says that's actually exactly how people act in Nashville bars. All right. Well, I stand corrected.
All right. Really fun bout. Went all over the place. My head said Pretty Deadly. My heart said Gallus theme, even though they changed the Gallus theme.
Yeah.
My heart won. Gallus hits their finish on Andre Chase. Chase kicks out, though.
Yeah.
So they look to hit it again, but then Kofi takes out Mark Coffey.
Didn't he kick out at 1?
Yeah, he kicked out like super early.
That was awesome, dude. As Maggie here says, this was a good, I mentioned this during the stream, this was a good litmus test to see like where people are with the general audience as opposed to the same 100 people that are at the NXT arena every week. Chase U is super over.
Yeah.
They had that crowd. It's such a simple thing, fake university. And scam university, I should say.
Yeah.
But it is wildly over with the crowd.
Yeah, it is. It really is. And the story with Duke Hudson and Chase U has done wonders for like everybody involved.
Absolutely.
It's one of the best things going to NXT. So Kofi takes out Mark Coffey while Gallus is looking for their finish. He looks for a trust fall on Pretty Deadly. Instead, they catch him ringside, hit him with spilled milk on the floor. And then Gallus hits, I guess is their new finish, a power slam running forearm combo on Xavier Woods to get the win.
Yeah.
So not only they win the titles, they won by pinning one of the champions.
Yeah. That has to say
talent. Yeah.
That has to say that New Day is heading back to main roster.
Oh, I would think so. It kind of says they have high hopes for Gallus too.
I hope so. I really do. Those dudes have been holding it down in NXT UK for ages, since the beginning. And yeah, I think that's awesome for Gallus, man.
Yep. Then we got Gigi Dolan versus JC Jane versus Roxanne Perez. I mean, this kind of played out exactly how we kind of thought it would, where early on JC and Gigi are working in tandem to try to take out Roxanne, and then their competitiveness eventually drives a divide between them, and then they start trying to pin each other instead of just trying to pin Roxanne.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
And so you got to think at this juncture, Toxic Attraction, no more.
Yeah, and I think this could be a really great feud between the two of them. I really do. I think that since, obviously, well, I guess it would have been a New Year's Evil. When was Roxanne supposed to win?
It was probably at this show is when she was.
You think it was this one?
Yeah.
When did she win the one before New Year's Evil? It wasn't at New Year's Evil.
No. New Year's Evil was just the TV one, right?
That was
a
TV
special
one,
episode.
yeah.
So she won the last premium NXT Premium Live event, the last one that was at the Performance Center, the one with the Iron Survivor Challenge.
She won the Iron Survivor Challenge, and then the next week, on regular TV, she
the
beat
next
Mandy.
Tuesday,
yeah. But then wasn't New Year's Evil supposed to be when the title shot was?
I guess it was. I just when Shawn Michaels had that quote, it just said they did it early.
Yeah, I don't think. He didn't say when. But
so
I'm
I guess
assuming
it
it probably was going to be New Year's Evil.
It could have been Saturday. I don't know.
Regardless, I'm sorry. I sidetracked. My point being, and Mandy had a nice tweet about Toxic Attraction's performance. It's a shame what happened to Mandy, but it has allowed Toxic Attraction, the other two, Gigi and JC, to pick up the pieces and maybe establish themselves a bit more. If they end up getting into a feud because of this, I have no idea what their situation would have been had Mandy stuck around. But regardless, we're here where we could potentially have, a really killer feud with two people who've been able to establish themselves separate, as separate personalities in Mandy's absence. And to see them establish themselves even further with a feud, I think would be really, really good stuff. There's a lot there that you don't need any titles, and those stories are always really cool when you have something good without titles involved, the necessity for titles. So I'm looking forward to seeing what they do with Gigi and JC at this point.
Same. Agreed 1,000%. Roxanne gets the win here. She hits a Pop Rocks on JC to get the win after putting Gigi through a table. Yeah,
good finish. Really good finish.
It was a fun finish. It really was. It was a good match. It was a really good bout. And then we got our main event: Grayson Waller versus Braun Breaker. Yeah. You can't leave the cage to win, because they announced beforehand the stipulation was pinfall or submission. You can't escape the cage to win. Even though at one point Grayson Waller did try to escape the cage. Yeah, but he wouldn't have won if he'd gotten out. Yeah, right. Wouldn't have won. Yeah, but no, I like this because, like you said earlier, all about mind games with Braun Breaker. Grayson Waller shows up and he's got the full sort of entrance where he's wearing the chainmail and he comes in, and kind of interesting to see him try to figure out, like, he realizes midway through the match that, like, I can't really do my finish the way I want to do it here. Yeah. And then, but he does a modified version of it in the ring, which I think only got 2. Yeah. But yeah, no, I liked Braun Breaker sort of putting a punctuation, talking shit at the end, saying, "This is my ring." And what did you write down what he actually said? No, I didn't. I did, because he hits him with the spear. After so Waller goes up to the top of the cage looking for the elbow, and after he gets up there, Braun gets up and starts climbing the cage himself and hits like a superplex off the cage, hits the spear, and then he's like, this is my ring, or he says you want to talk shit, you want to talk your mess, or you want to talk trash or something like that. Yeah. And then he speared him in half. He did, but not before Grayson Waller was defiant. I think he spat at him or something, and he just sort of put his chin up and he said "F you" basically, and then Braun did. He used all the momentum. He ran the ropes like twice before he hit that spear. Oh man, he speared him, like you said, in half, dude. It was good stuff. It was a good finish. Now that Braun has learned how to be champion and to channel his emotions, now he's going to lose at the next premium live event, because Carmelo and Trick walk out to the ramp as Braun poses atop the cage, and you could tell he did not want to be up there. Yeah.
Well, it's, he only had the one cable. Otherwise,
Yeah,
whoa.
and a little, area to stand about the size of, I don't know, like a serving platter.
Yeah, I know, exactly.
It's pretty small.
Scary stuff.
It is scary. We had Rampage Friday night as well.
Yes, we did.
A decent enough show. I really liked the Jay Lethal Double J Best Friends video package.
Yeah, that was good
because he made a point of saying that Screen Actors Guild and AEW were blurring out the Golden Globe on TV, and so what it looked like, Steve.
It looked like a dick.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah, that was pretty funny.
That was absolutely hilarious. It really was.
And I like the aggression with which Tony Storm and Saraya were wrestling with. They wrecked the Renegades.
They were wrecking the Renegades.
Them.
Yeah, absolutely.
And the swagger they have as heels is great.
It is. It's really nice to see. I like that a lot. I'm glad that I'm really glad. It was a weird decision, but I'm glad that they had Saraya go heel so soon into her run because it's just much more fun. It's less, let's worry about my neck every match. And I'm so happy to be here because it's been forever since I've been able to wrestle. They move straight into, hey, screw all of you. I was on WWE. I'm great. Yeah. I like that. I think that's pretty cool.
I know. I do too. And it's cool. We're kind of getting a macro story to some degree for the women's division. Right. It's just not a story involving one or two or maybe four women. Seemingly it's going to be a story that's going to involve, if told right, hopefully, at minimum we'll get like a 4-on-4 type match or something,
It feels bigger, and it makes you wonder if they're going to involve Jade as well. I think that would be really smart because you cannot come up with a better, or a better success story being homegrown in AEW than Jade Cargill. I mean,
and that could be a way that if she gets the win for the AEW homegrown team, that she can then parlay that into a title match against Jamie Hayter.
Yeah, right.
Says I led our team to victory. Now give me a title match.
Yeah, that'd be killer stuff. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, no, I like. You're right. The fact that it's much bigger than just a couple people. I think that's a really good move on their part.
And hopefully they keep expanding it in an organic sense. So it's like a huge story involving the whole division. That'd be great.
Yeah.
Show kicked off with the Elite versus the Firm. I know that Matt Hardy and Ethan Page do this every match, but it's still funny where Hardy actually has the advantage in the match and he's about to do one of his signature moves and Ethan's like, no, tag me in, I want to do it. And he tries to do it and he gives up the team's upper hand. And it happens every time.
Yeah, it's pretty entertaining stuff.
But it is pretty entertaining. The Elite get the win here. This is a really fun bout.
Yeah, no, it was long and it was pretty fun.
They get the win after Cassidy takes a V-trigger, a one-winged angel from Kenny, and then the Bucks and Kenny follow with the triple BTE trigger to get the W. And then they're facing Top Flight on Dynamite. That'll be really good, too.
Oh, the Young Bucks?
The Elite are.
Oh, the Elite. They're facing Top
Flight and AR Fox, yeah.
Oh,
for the trios
right,
titles.
Fox, that's right. Oh, that's right. They won the $300,000 match, and now they're gonna.
Now they want their title bout.
That'll be a good match.
I know, it'll be really good. It'll
Probably
be really good.
Show. Then we had a Ricky Starks interview. He's asked about his plan for the Garcia Guevara gauntlet match. He says, I've been known to put my foot in my mouth, but that's okay because if that's the way I got to get to Chris to beat Chris to get out of this web of Jericho I'm stuck with, that's okay. I'm okay with having the deck stacked against me because I always find a way. Parker, Daddy Magic, Sami, Danny, it doesn't matter because in El Paso, I'm going to show why I'm absolute. And then when I get to Chris, I'm going to beat you again, Chris Jericho.
Then we had that Jay Lethal Double J Satnam Best Friends video package where Lethal's cutting a promo. He says, we're riding high. He mentions where I think he says the Screen Actors Guild and AEW are blurring out the Golden Globe. And yes, it looks like a dingus.
Looks like a dingus.
And he says, but we put it in the ring, we can't be matched. And he says, I bet Paul Walter Hauser is sitting at home wishing he had better friends. So we go to best friends. And Danhausen says, you smashed me in the head with a Grammy. And they correct him, saying, no, it was a Golden Globe. He says, I was about to decimate your giant, and then I was smashed in the head, and you'll be cursed if that happens again.
Yeah, it's pretty funny stuff. Mainly because it looked like a dick. Then we had Brian Pillman Jr. versus Swerve Strickland. Is Brian Pillman Jr. and what's his face still together? The other Pillman?
I don't think so.
Griff
I think
Garrison?
the Pillmans are no more.
Pillman looks like he's like It's like a rock guy, right? Is that what he is?
I don't know.
Not.
He lost the mullet. Now he just has long hair.
He just has long hair.
Yeah.
And like some sunglasses when he comes out. So
Yeah.
I don't know what he is. He kind of looks like his dad when he was flying Brian Pillman a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Anyways, Swerve wins this match. He hits a DVD on the apron, a top rope double stomp to get the win here. Afterwards, Mogul Affiliates beat down Pillman, and then Dustin Rhodes comes to the ring to make sure he's the next guy that gets beat down by Swerve Strickland.
Yep. Then we got a Malachi promo. He says there is a saying that breeds assumptions. And he was mumbling this entire thing, so I probably got half this wrong.
Hey, this was I kind of dug this. This is kind of cool.
It was
kind of
good, but it
curious
was
to see
very
where it
mumbling.
goes. Yeah. Yes,
He says that I think this is what he says. There is a saying that breeds assumption that creates unrealistic expectations. And what is the poison that you people created? The assumption that Eddie was not joining the House of Black. No, the House does not want Eddie.
No, I think it was the assumption that Eddie was going to join the House.
Sorry,
of Black.
that's what it was. Yes. Yeah. No, the House does not want Eddie, nor does Eddie want the House. The House does what it always does: prove that every human on this planet is corruptible. It takes the smallest push, and all the venom comes out. There's no forgiveness for people like you and me, Eddie. It is the balance of who we are in this world, because no one is ever truly, before he says
no man is ever truly
and evil. It cuts him off.
Because it's like his old theme song, yeah.
No,
it was filmed really cool. There was a cool shot of Eddie. It's all black and white and stuff.
Yeah,
and
he
he's
was,
like
sitting
cowering in the corner.
Yeah.
Look, this is gonna be a killer match whenever they do.
Mm-hmm.
I guess it's gonna be Eddie versus Malachi. I don't know. Is
Seems
Eddie
that
gonna
way.
respond with his own short film, and say, "Hey, I thought it was cool. Do you want to be in I want to be in your crew. Lots of I bought 4 Reese's pies, one for each of us, and then Julia can have something else." Why did you not get one for Julia?
She loves Reese's pie.
She loves it more than anybody here. You have forsaken us again.
Eddie has to make the decision. Do I eat my Reese's pie or do I give it to Julia?
Hey, look, I tell you what, guys. There's one person here who's definitely going to have Reese's pie. It's Eddie. Y'all can figure out the rest yourself. Buddy don't look like he has Reese's pie. Brody definitely. Malachi probably not. But Buddy ain't having that. He can give his to Julia. I don't like sugar.
Then we got Tony Storm and Saraya versus Robin and Charlotte Renegade. As mentioned, Tony Storm and Saraya's heel's great. The intensity's great. The aggression's great.
Yeah, it's good stuff.
Their swagger is great. So they isolate Robin for a while. Eventually, Robin tags in Charlotte. I think Charlotte gets 1 or 2 moves off. Tony hits her with a drop kick, a hip attack. Saraya kicks her. And then Tony hits her with Storm Zero to get the win. And afterwards, Saraya gets a couple cans of spray paint from over the ring. And then Tony and Saraya spray paint L's on the Renegades.
Ooh, yeah. Yeesh. After that, we had an Adam Cole video package. He's excited about coming back. Chugs is on his way back to AEW.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Then we had a video package for the main event, introed by Mark Henry. Time for talking's over. Let's go to the main event. Christopher Daniels versus Roosh.
Mm-hmm. Of course, Roosh is facing Bryan Danielson on Dynamite, so he's got to look strong going into that match, so he beats Christopher Daniels.
Yeah, Christopher Daniels just sort of loses matches. But he's a legend. He's great.
He is great. He is great. So, Bullshorn from Roosh, Jose, and Preston Vance got involved a lot in this bout. And Christopher Daniels got a little bit of a comeback at one point after he gets Vance to accidentally kick Jose.
Mm-hmm.
But in the end, Roosh hits a belly in the corner, some stomps, Bull's horn, Roosh wins.
You got that right, man. Let's go ahead and answer some questions. I've got a thread here on both the Patreon and YouTube on a
I'm here on Patreon
thread.
if you want to do YouTube, Steve.
Yeah, I think that sounds like a good idea. That there sounds like a good idea. You can go first because it's taking a second here.
Steve there, not to be confused with Steve here.
Not me, no.
Asks, is WWE running the risk of having fans crap all over the Mania main event no matter who wins? No, I think if and when Cody wins, I think the majority of the crowd would be happy. And I think even if somehow Roman wins, I would hope at least people would be aware that, okay, this is probably part of a larger story then.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
So no, I don't think. And even if they somehow did end up doing Sami versus Roman, if the conclusion of the match was from a character perspective was satisfying, even though Sami lost. I think people would get it.
Yeah.
I think people are invested in the story and want to see it play out and would understand, all right, Sami loses. This is a story beat for something more.
Yeah. Dude, I'm telling you, I don't know what's going to go down. And I know some people are saying it's possible the Usos can't do Canada. I have no idea. But look, they have proven out to have the benefit of the doubt till now. People cheer when they're supposed to cheer, and people boo when they're supposed to boo. You know, and I have no doubt that's going to be the case at WrestleMania. Lehue here says, "Is it true that the Usos are not allowed to travel in Canada?" Oh, I just mentioned that. I have no idea. I don't know. I really don't know.
Don't know.
If somebody has like actual confirmation on that, as opposed to just sort of baseless speculation, then have at it. But I don't know.
We got a new channel member here, Wrastlin' Wriggle.
Oh,
says,
man. Awesome.
Thanks for the awesome content. Yeah. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Wrastlin' Wriggle. Let's see here. F Pop says, since it won't be at Mania, how do you book Sami getting a victory over Roman? I don't know. I guess you can kick the can down the road. Like if Roman is without title after Mania, he might take some time off. And so we won't see him because he's like a big deal. So if Roman loses at Mania, if that's the idea.
You know what's going to be, Steve. At Chamber, we're going to get ref bump, haluva kick. Sami covers, count to 5, but there's no ref. And then overbooked conclusion leading to Jay coming out, costing Sami the match.
Yeah.
Roman hits the spear, he wins. Bloodline beatdown. Kevin Owens runs out to make the save. We don't get the Sami Kevin Owens embrace in the middle of the ring. They stand across in the ring, look at each other, maybe a little nod, and that's it.
Yeah. But here, F Pop is asking, how is Sami going to beat Roman Reigns?
Well, in that scenario, he did. However, there's no ref to count the pinfall.
Oh, I got you. So no, totally. That's every Roman match where like the Bloodline's not involved. It's always a ref bump, and then the other person wins, but they don't really.
Yeah.
But an actual win, I don't know. At that point, I don't even know if it's necessary.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either. Blake Whitehouse says, who's had a larger impact in wrestling, Paul Heyman or Eric Bischoff?
What a great question. That sounds like it should just be a video unto itself.
I know.
Who's had a bigger impact in wrestling? As my cat claws on the door trying to get in. Honestly, probably Bischoff. I mean, if you look at what he did, he's the guy who told Ted Turner, give me Monday nights live. And he's the guy who beat WWE and forced WWE into doing what they did.
Which is pretty much ripping off what Paul Heyman was doing at ECW. A lot of the Attitude Era stuff was, you could see its roots in what Heyman was doing in ECW. Without Heyman taking Eastern Championship Wrestling into Extreme Championship Wrestling.
I'm sorry, what?
Extreme Championship Wrestling. Yeah. Who knows how the WWE's Attitude Era would have kind of formulated itself, you know?
Okay. No, I like that. Like, because obviously Bischoff and McMahon both pulled directly from ECW without any, I mean, WWE bankrolled ECW for a spell.
Yeah. It was kind of like their developmental for a little bit too. That's where they sent Al Snow after, the various character gimmicks that he had in WWE weren't working. They sent him to ECW.
Bischoff pulled directly from and had no problem, poaching, if you will, from ECW. But I mean, I don't know if Heyman hadn't transformed ECW. I mean, it's not like Heyman didn't. It's not like Heyman invented Extreme.
Oh, not at all. No,
arguably Terry Funk did.
But he brought it.
Heyman just looked at FMW or what Terry Funk was doing and did the same thing himself.
He brought that style of wrestling to the stage and managed to market it in a way that appealed to a nationwide audience. And I'll say this, in terms of one singular impact, and that being the creation of the NWO.
Which was also ripped off from Japan, by the way.
Yeah. And that spell of 83 weeks that WCW beat Raw in the ratings, you could say for that one thing, Bischoff probably had a larger impact. But
it's a pretty big thing, though.
It is a huge thing. I'm not trying to downplay it. But I would say in terms of consistent relevancy, Heyman has Bischoff beat by a mile.
I agree with that. Absolutely.
Like to this day, Heyman he's heavily involved in the Bloodline story.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
To this day, he's creating some of the most interesting wrestling television going, like almost 30 years after ECW went extreme.
His creative also, SmackDown in the mid-aughts was brought SmackDown to like higher rating success. Yeah. I don't know. The thing is, they're so intertwined. And it's not to speak on who's like better. Like, I'm just trying to think who had the bigger actual impact on the landscape of pro wrestling. And it's a big question. And I think an argument can be made either way. Mm-hmm. But in terms of maintaining relevancy, I don't think how anything could be argued that Bischoff has had more relevancy than Paul Heyman. Paul Heyman has managed
the other way around.
Heyman has managed to keep himself more relevant on a consistent basis for the past 30 years. You're absolutely right about that.
Than Bischoff has, yeah.
Yep. Yeah. And Eric Bischoff sits on his podcast and runs down Tony Khan. That's sort of his,
and CM Punk.
What he does now. I'll never forget, we got an advertisement. I have no idea if he ever did it. But there was an advertisement on one of the Conrad podcasts I was listening to. Mm-hmm. There was an advertisement for a new Eric Bischoff podcast that he was going to do, that he was like, it just focuses on the week-to-week ratings and business of pro wrestling during those 86 weeks, as opposed to the creative of like what happened behind the scenes and
of why he was justifying why sold out the pay-per-view was a good idea. Yeah.
And he was like, no wrestling fans could have this kind of information. No denigrating podcasts like ours. But I'm like, honestly, it sounds kind of boring. oh, we're just going to talk about TV analytics and ratings. I'm like, what is that? Like a 15
dry material. Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway.
Flannelly Dan has a good question here. How do we level up main event Jay to go full circle on the Tribal Chief story arc? He's going to be involved in Roman losing that title.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Let's see here. Deep voice dude. Cody Rhodes is the first former AEW wrestler to win the Royal Rumble. Who is someone currently in AEW you think will join WWE and win a Royal Rumble eventually? Ricky Starks.
Yeah, it's possible.
Ricky Starks. I think that's a distinct possibility.
MJF,
that's a possibility. Yeah. Malik Black, how long do you think an NXT talent should be in NXT before getting called up? Or should it be based on how much progress that talent is showing in NXT?
Well, yeah, it should be based on progress, not so much on, just a random calendar.
I agree with that, Yeah, you're ready. It's been 2 years.
I know. You've been here 2 years, not ready? Too bad. You're going up.
Too bad. You're going up anyways. You've been in catering the whole time. You're up. He's like, what's my character? You haven't figured that out yet?
Yeah, I know. For Von Wagner, it's like, all right.
That's a Von Wagner story.
You got 2 months till your call up. You better get something character-wise put together.
How about this? Hey, I got an idea. How about I don't know what my character is?
Well, you don't know who you are. Got it.
That's just what you are. Yeah, that's right. I'm Joe Blow. ACW dumpster champion. Let's see here. Carlos Diaz, what's your favorite babyface title chase storyline where you found yourselves rooting for the bad guy because you wanted him to keep the belt?
Maybe when Roman faced Brock the first time at WrestleMania 31.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I was tired of Brock by then or not.
I'm trying to remember who was ever chasing Seth Rollins when he was a bad guy.
Oh, I got it. Because I think they were trying to position Hangman as the heel in that feud. Is Hangman versus Phil. I so desperately wanted Paige to beat CM Punk and keep the AEW title.
So I'll do another Phil one, but it's Phil Ryback.
Oh.
When Phil was a bad guy, Ryback was a good guy. I was like, I don't want Ryback to get the title off him. That would be stupid. Let's see here. I think that was when Phil had the title. I forget. Anyways.
Yeah, it was.
White Brownie says, with the recent success of Vengeance Day, should NXT do TV specials or maybe once a month shows outside of the Performance Center to help rebuild interest? If they could find venues that are like, I don't know, 1,500 strong, that'd be cool if they would do tours. I can't stand the venue. I don't like that shit where it's the same people every week. It doesn't, because the enthusiasm just isn't there from a fan base standpoint. Find a way to tour. I know they do like the Florida Loop, and some of the pictures coming out of that from the house show perspective just aren't great. So I don't know what they'd be able to draw, but if you make a big deal about it, maybe just start out, on a tour and then come back home and then do another tour after 2 months.
Yeah. I mean, I guess if it's the idea that people know it's a TV taping, I think more people would go because it's a TV show. You feel like something's going to happen.
Yeah. Right.
You might get on TV too.
Yeah. It could be. Yeah. You could be on TV. Advertise that. Everybody's on the hard cam.
You could be on TV.
Exactly. You could be on TV too. Exactly. Let's see here. All right.
We got over 200 likes. Do you want to call in Paul?
You want to call in Paul now?
Call in Paul.
He's in the call.
He's in the call.
Sorry, Maggie. I had to. Adrenaline in my soul. Maggie got time to ever talk shit about Cody Rhodes. All right. Let's bring in Paul.
Thank
you for calling WWE.com, where the big boys play.
Calling WWE.com. You're okay. Hi, Triple H.
Hey, Steve. How you doing?
Doing great. How are you?
I'm good. I'm focus grouping. Do slogans for WWE. How about WWE, where the big boys play?
That's been used before. That was WCW's.
Thank you for calling WWE.com. Check the adjective play.
He plays a verb.
What's old is new again.
Or it could be a noun.
Yeah. Eric Bischoff had a bigger impact, by the way. You know why?
Why?
Because he got thrown in a dumpster truck when he left WWE. It was hilarious. I laughed so hard.
Is that a reference to Sold Out when they rode in on a garbage truck?
Even back then, I was super meta.
Wow.
Yeah, that's right. My creative was all my creative back then.
Everything.
Anyways, what can I do for you today?
Raw preview was Monday.
Oh, that's right. We got a Monday Night Raw tonight. That's right. I wrote it this weekend. I was out at the pool. I had my little sketchbook with me. I was drawing little doodles of all the matches that are going to happen on Raw. That's how I do it. It's very. Pat Patterson taught me that before. He was like, "Hey, if you do some doodles, that might help you to unleash your creative juices."
That's pretty cool. Will we ever get to see these doodles?
No way. No, not until I'm dead. They'll be in the WWE archives.
That place is cool.
Yeah, that place is awesome. Sometimes I just roam around there. I'm like, we should bring the big Smackdown fist back. I can't do that, though. Can't do it. I got to look forward to the future. That's how I keep Dad away from the creative, is looking to the future, bigger and better. Are you ready to suck it? And all that kind of stuff.
Oh, okay. Well, the second part's kind of going in the past. But anyways, what can we expect from Raw tonight?
Oh, man, nothing but bangers. Banger after banger after banger. We might bring back the Bloodline bus and have the Banger Brothers get on the Bloodline bus, and it'll be the Bang bus. Anyways, first up, finally, man, I don't have many regrets about my time at Creative, but bumping the steel cage match was a grade A asshole decision. Yeah. So I am doing that match. Becky Lynch versus Bayley, 1-on-1 in the steel cage.
Can we get minimum half an hour for this bout?
What?
Half hour.
Oh, man, how about this? I'll do you one better. 31 minutes.
Awesome.
Yeah, don't interrupt. A major fatal 4-way elimination chamber qualifying match set for Raw. What is this? This is the women, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so who's going to be in this match?
Dewdrop.
Oh,
I had it right in front of me, too, and then I lost it.
Dewdrop. He's going to be like Otis or something. Who is going to be in this?
Dewdrop. Carmella, Candace,
that's right. Carmella's back. FABOBOBUS. Just the thing is this. Carmella's back.
Oh, sorry, not Dewdrop, Piper Niven. Gosh, I'm so used to calling her
Oh, that's
Dewdrop.
right. What are you talking about? You can't say Dewdrop anymore. It's Piper Niven. She's got that old name, but Piper Niven. I came up with that name, but the dad changed it to Dewdrop just to spite me.
Yeah, I believe that.
Yeah. How's our arsenic plan coming along, by the way?
I'm not getting involved in that whatsoever.
Dark web, try it out. Anyways.
Not doing it.
Don't interrupt. Angelo Dawkins takes on Damian Priest. Guess who's going to win this one?
Damian Priest?
You got that right, buddy. Because the Judgment Day is everything. They're everywhere. Yeah.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah. It's my Finn Balor impression. Yeah. You like when they did the driving the car zig the other day?
That was a lot of fun.
I know. It was hilarious. I like that Finn Balor looked like Jamiroquai.
Yeah.
Remember that guy? I should have done the beautiful day thing that I did with my return. I should have used useless future internet technology and all this.
Yeah. That'd been kind of cool if you kind of did something like the video, because it's like little treadmills essentially. You running on the treadmill, getting ready to come back.
That'd be great. Yeah, it's like, hey, my quad's
like a room
fine,
full
useless.
of treadmills, so you have to slide from one treadmill to work out
Internet
onto
technology. I'm always flexing. Anyways, then Montez Ford takes on Elias in an Elimination Chamber qualifying match. I'm going to put Montez Ford in this match because Elias is great crap.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I thought he was good for, but he's just not. Yeah, I don't know what to do with this guy. What do we fantasy book Elias? What do I do with this guy? I know that's how I feel. That's exactly how I feel. Just heavy sigh.
Does he have another brother?
Oh, that's not a bad idea. Maybe I'll try that. A little brother who's got a higher ceiling. What are you gonna do with a guy who just walks around with a guitar? You can't do anything with that.
Yeah, it's kind of limited ceiling. I know.
Pretty much. I mean, we had a Elvis impersonator, Honky Tonk Man. He was Intercontinental Champion forever, but good Lord. What you can do with a guy who just dressed like Elvis?
Yeah, that's kind of ceiling.
I was watching clips from the Elvis movie the other day.
Yeah,
it looked like crap.
Yeah, I haven't seen it yet.
Not really an Elvis guy. They should get Baz Luhrmann to do a Lemmy movie.
Oh yeah,
that'd be cool. I don't know what you call it though. Anyways, that's gonna do it for Triple H. What a productive call this has been. I've got to focus group some more phrase about this WWE.com. Let's get ready to suck it. I don't think advertisers like that very much. Advertisers, much like you, they're very anti-horny. All right, I'll see you guys later.
Bye, Triple H.
He's already gone. How'd that go?
Went pretty good.
Well, yeah, that's good. Right on.
Yeah.
What was he up to? What's he up to on a Monday?
He's brainstorming new catchphrases for .com.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's cool. Is one of them where the big boys play?
Yeah, he did say that. It's funny you mentioned that. And I was like,
stuck in my head because we did that
old.
Nitro.
It's old.
Yeah. So, anyways, I guess that's going to do it. Oh, man, long show today. Look at that.
Yeah, it was a long show. We had a lot to cover, so.
We had a lot to cover today, but we're a podcast. Podcasts are often very long.
They've been known to go long, yes.
Anyways, thanks everybody for tuning in. We appreciate it. Be sure to give us that thumbs up. Hit that subscribe button if you're listening to us in the audio realm. Give us a rating, review, or a comment. It really helps. Going in raw. Thanks for watching. Till next time, we'll talk to you later.
Goodbye.